This is Derrick Hayes here live. And I told you when I first started, I was gonna bring the biggest names in the game. And today is not like none other. And I told you the biggest names in the game. We here, 18 episodes in of Life Skill Life School, where we tie your life skills into your life schools. So it's a blessing today to be here, and I need everyone out there to follow me on all social media platforms at enTIEtainer and even on Cash App. It's a great day. It's a great Thursday. And today our guest on episode 18 is Eddwina Harris. 2 D's in there. 2 D's. 2 D's. I'm 1 D. She 2 D's. Double D. Double dose. Develop destiny. Hey, we did it all today. And we call her, as you see the tie. Look, you see the tie. Look at the tie. Not any mama.
I like that. I like that. Mama,
but Rama. Say it with me. Say it with me, Eddwina. Rama.
Mama.
R-A-M-A. R-A-M-A. And you can reach out to her right now on Facebook. And she's doing a lot of great things. And she, like I've seen her on Facebook, I've seen her all over the internet, and she got her information to me. She said, let's make it happen. I said, hey, let's make it happen. And so before we get into her game, let's learn some more about her name. Now, Eddwina, tell us about yourself before we get into actually what you do.
Well, I am Eddwina Harris. I am from Alabama, from the country, Linden, or those that will be watching be like, no, you're from Merlewood. We'll talk about that later. That's a real country. But anyway, I have 2 beautiful kids. My daughter is 16. Her name is Kelsey. My son is 11. He's TJ. And y'all always see me posting about him because Kelsey's like, I don't want no pictures. Don't take no picture of me. But we got a few of her driving and stuff like that. But TJ is, the outgoing little sports guy. I've written 2 novels. I am a CDL instructor for a county school system in the state of Georgia. I have done a lot of stuff. I'm an activist. I do radio and podcasts, and a motivational speaker. I have a foundation called the McKenzie Foundation, and I'm sure we'll get into that as this show goes on. And I just love helping people out here in the community. I am definitely running for an office, and my campaign will be gearing up in just a few weeks. Because the preliminaries are over with for Henry County in the actual position that I'm running for. So get ready to see more of me.
Okay, that's great. Now, in the RAMA Mama, the R is for radio host. Now, tell us about how you got into radio and what do you actually talk about on your shows?
Well, in radio, I got in radio about 10, 11 years ago. Actually, here in Atlanta at Love 860 down in Midtown was my very first stop in radio world. And I had a show. I was a midday radio personality where we did, of course, traffic, and we talked to independent artists. And that's where I started with the independent artistry, where I gave independent artists a platform to play their music, to talk about their projects, just to get their name out there within the city, and then, grow from there. And that's kind of where I stayed in the independent artistry world. And with that, I had to be an independent artist myself, because when it comes to my books, I am a self-published author. So I'm not through any publishing company. Nobody managed me. I manage myself because I've actually managed others. So I know how to manage myself. So Radio Girl is awesome. What I'm doing currently is mostly podcasting and the Facebook stream. I think it's a few different ways that I have planned to go and am going and doing currently with this pandemic still going on. And I do quote unquote because nobody's talking about it. It's all about the protester rights and all of that stuff. But people are really still dying from the coronavirus. So don't sleep on that matter either. So that's radio, and that's what I do. And of course, I posted red carpet all over the city and states and stuff.
Who are some of the most interesting people that you've interviewed?
Well, I know High Energy. I love them. They are a very beautiful group of young ladies. They are called the Mako Girls. They are one of my favorite groups. I love interviewing the youth. Say it again. I'm sorry.
You say they call the Makeup Girls?
The Mako Girls, Mako Girls, Mako Girls. It's a group of sisters. Yes, 3 sisters that perform. Their parents are their managers, and I love them because they are teaching them the business of the music industry and not just what they do on stage. So they do a lot of things outside of the stage, but they give an amazing performance. So they are one of my best. Then I have this couple called Us Two. That's an independent. They're independent artists, but they're a couple, a husband and a wife, and they are more seasoned, but yet they have good music, good fun music for a grown and sexy crowd. So, and then there's so many others in between, but those are the 2 that you know.
No, but I like that because it introduces us to new things. You know, Mako Girls and Us Too. You know, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Now.
Those 2 organizations have been supporting me for years at this point, and I always, you know, love to give shout outs to people that have stood the test of time, because you know some people come and they go like the wind, but there are some people that are like buildings with a deep foundation that they stick around through the thick and the thin. If you see them or not, know that foundation is there. So yeah.
Okay, let's get into the A.
The A from Alabama. Okay, A for Atlanta. Anyway, we talking about A for author.
Right.
So this is my book number 1. What Death Do We Part? This is part 1. And then this is part 2. What Death Do We Part 2? Like my 2 Ds. I got 2 novels so far.
What? So how'd you get started writing?
So when my niece passed, Mackenzie, this is my pen. This is what I give to people. When she passed in December of 2018, I created the Mackenzie Foundation because she committed suicide. She was 9. She committed suicide due to racial bullying in school. So that's why I built her foundation, to make sure I get the word out about bullying and what it could lead to. And when that all happened, I was getting, you know, support financially through the Mackenzie Foundation, through the campaign, through the GoFundMe, and all of those other places. But sometimes I was being asked to go places that sometimes couldn't pay, and that's cool. And I never wanted to not get her story, because this is what the Mackenzie Foundation is about. It's about Mackenzie and her story, the Mackenzie Foundation. And I didn't want it to become about money nor about me. So I created book number 1 as a way to fund the Mackenzie Foundation, to offset what I could put in from my personal money and what I was getting from those that was contributing to the campaign. So book 1 helped me continue to push and be able to go to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Phoenix, Arizona, all over Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and all the different places that I've named, and even some private sectors. I've actually had to go to people's home to talk to them about suicide and what to look for in their kids, and if their kid had attempted suicide. It's so many places that have reached out to me that could have lost their job if people knew that that's where it came from. But we saved the child in the process, so it's all been worth it. And it's hard because I personally lost my 9-year-old niece. Her and my son were the same age. They were 6 months apart. So I'm still going through the healing. My kids, my mom, my sister, my dad, my niece and nephews, everybody's still going through the healing process because she was only 9. She was so young.
That's a topic that a lot of us never talk about.
Right.
That's a blessing. Now, you touched on the R and the A. Now, are you still traveling as a motivational speaker when you can?
Well, the motivational speaking comes from me being a bully activist, which is what we're going to get into next. So I'll just stick to what we're talking about. So the motivational speaking part is when I go and I talk about the Mackenzie Foundation and what we stand for. And in motivational speaking, when it comes to the point of bullying, people always, oh, rah, 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 beat the bully up, get their parent, they should know better. And until March the 13th of 2020, a lot of people didn't know their kids, but now they are very well equipped with the knowledge of who and what their child is, because you've had to spend a lot of time with them. So up until 2 months, 3 months ago, people really didn't quite know who their being was when they get outside of the home. But that's okay. Now that we know, when I used to speak to people about bullying and in my motivational speaking points, is that I would let them find themselves where they are. I had 5 different, sometimes 6 different blocks that I would put on the floor. And I love to speak in gyms and arenas because I get to pull the people out of the stands because I'm very interactive. I'm very animated. I like people to tell me what you know what I'm talking about. So what I did, I met them where they were, but I needed you to first tell me what the issue was. Where were you out here where I'm talking about? If you were the bully, if you were the victim, if you were the bystander, if you helped the bully somebody, I needed you to tell me what the problem is. Where are you here? And then once I know where you are, we can heal from there. But if you keep denying that none of this applies to you when it does, even if you stay sitting down, you are still a part of this, what I call the bullying ring, because if you are seeing somebody being hurt or taunted and you do nothing, you are still a part of the problem until you help to get a solution. But that is to get to the healing process of everyone that's involved. So that's in part a part of my motivational speaking. I speak from a place of hurt. So therefore I speak healing up to the people that I talk to. I also speak with them and give them a solution, and I give them points and guidelines where to go from here. I don't just come in and say, oh, we got to get this and we got to get that, but how are you going to do it? I can't be that person with, like we were talking before the show started, with everything that's going on. We're doing all the protests and this and that, but then what's after that? You got to have a solution. That's fine to point out the problems, but that goes back to my books as well. What Death Do We Part, which is about marriage. So you can talk about the problem, but who's going to have a solution? And if that solution is equipped or ready or even useful for that situation. So that's in my motivational speaking speech.
That's a good thing. Are you familiar with the bullying event, Bullying 123 in the Atlanta area?
I am. I do know Mr. Osborne. He has supported me with my books. I've actually spoken in Greensboro at his event at his church, and yes, I know him very well.
Okay, that's a blessing. And the A on the activist part, you mentioned the McKinsey Foundation. Now, what help or what do you need for your foundation to continue from where you're at now to where you want to take it? How can people help you out?
Purchase the book, because the books help me buy the pens that I give out. I don't sell anything on behalf of the McKinsey Foundation. I give everything away. I give my time. I give my energy. I give even more after I leave. When I went to Greensboro, Georgia with Mr. Osborne, with Bullying 123, I had many parents and a whole lot of kids that, found me on social media. And I still to this day am connected with those individuals because I said something that touched them and they wanted to keep in contact with me. And what I love the most about it, the kids that were there that was actually the bully, they didn't run from me. They found me to tell me, Miss Harris, I'm the bully. Can you help me? That's what I do it for. Because if we change the bully mind, because bullies are leaders, they're just leading the wrong way. If I can get them in line to start leading in a positive manner, that's part of the motivational speaking, and lead them in a positive manner, they can lead other kids to be in the right direction as well. So as an activist of bullying, I bring healing to every situation. You get my book. This will help the McKinsey Foundation. I have 1 book. I have 2 books. You can go to the McKinsey Foundation campaign on GoFundMe. But I would prefer you to get these because this is a tangible thing. This is something that.
How do they get the book? How do they get the book? How do they order the book?
Are on Amazon. Both of them are on Amazon.com. It is in Kindle form and it's in paperback form. Both of my books are. So all you have to do is type in the name, What Death Do We Part, or you can type in my name. Here we go, Janae Harris, and you will pull up all 4 ways to get my book. So it's 4 because it's 2 Kindles and 2 paperbacks for 1 and for 2.
I like your enthusiasm because if you don't tell it, you can't sell it. That's where I'm from.
But this is me for real. This is who I am in real life.
I'm not mad. I'm glad. Talk that talk and walk your walk.
Yes.
We just heard about the RAMA. We heard that she's a
Yes.
radio host, an author, motivational speaker, an activist with the McKinsey Foundation. Now, we need to hear a little bit more about the mama part, because you touched on you have 2 kids. You touched on how other parents are just learning about their kids for the first time. What's one thing that you learned about your own kids being at home with them?
That my kids don't like to wake up early in the morning. They hate getting up. My daughter went to night school doing virtual learning. She was like, they thought they was in college. They thought they was at Alabama A&M. My son took afternoon classes and my daughter took night class. She was like, I'm not going to do it. So neither one of my kids woke up before 2 o'clock. That's sad, but they got their work done. They enjoyed what they needed to do. They made sure their chores was done. We did do a lot of outside stuff. We, stay on the phone with family, and we were even able to go and visit, some my parents more. And it was great. Actually, it was really great. I did find out that they both love to be home. Even I know my daughter did, but I was really shocked more about my son, because he loved to be out and going places, but they love to be home. So I was very excited about that, because there's a lot of kids that I've come across in my years in the school system, 8 years to be exact. And that's just in the school system, not including church. And what 30 of us, I've been in church for well over 30 years. So it was very moving and very happy for me to know that my kids love to be at home, because there are some kids that don't enjoy being at home. So, yeah.
Episode 18. Life Kid, Life True. We on here with Eddwina Harris, known as the RAMA Mama. You can reach out to her on Facebook and go to Amazon and Kindle and get her great books. And once again, you're on here with the enTIEtainer. Please follow me at all social media platforms, even on Cash App. Before we get out of here, is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to speak on, or any other things that you're working on?
Well, of course, book number 3. I'm working on book 3. This is not really in this family of What Death Do We Part. It really won't be so much about marriage at this point anymore. It's more going to be for those of us, because of COVID-19 and, all of the people that are, being killed for this and that and the third. That book is going to be a lot for people that have lost a loved one, that are still grieving. It doesn't matter if you lost them yesterday or 10 years ago. You still at some point of grieving. And it's going to go through a lot of how to get through grieving, with the story, with the things that they liked in book 1 and 2. But it's going to be very different, but very helpful for those of us that's living after someone that we loved has passed. So make sure you guys keep looking out. Follow me on all social media sites. You can reach out to me if you need to talk about grief counseling. I am not a technical grief counselor, but I am still grieving and I'm counseling myself. So you don't have to use insurance to pay me.
Well, make sure you stay in touch, and because I've written a book, ebook that I can get to you called Motivational Speaker 101.
Okay. Yes.
Also, I think you ought to include bullying expert into your information, because a lot of people look for bullying experts, and you have expertise that's like none other, and they can also help you further your mission with your foundation, and get the word out there about what you're doing. So I definitely thank you for reaching out and becoming a guest on episode 18. I've enjoyed our time, and everyone out there, please tune in to Tuesday, June 16th, as our guest will be Alan Alford. He has the highest rated #1 all time sales of a Geico insurance agency named Alan Alford. And keep supporting me and keep following me, like I mentioned, on all platforms. And remember, keep working on your skills, because when people see what you do, it may be the only skill, may be the only school that they ever see. Until next time, we thank you for your time. And we out.
Bye.